Kenya is considered a food insecure country, although there is a lot of discussion about whether it really is a food insecure country. The government insists that within the country there's more than enough food within the country. The problem is the definition of food varies from community to community and from location to location. And they say that the biggest challenge with Kenya's food security problem is transport. Moving that food from one area from where there is plenty of food to where there's no food. For instance, every time there's a food crisis, you'll find that western parts of Kenya and central parts of Kenya are very green and they have plenty of food, and in fact some of the food is going bad on the fields. But then when you go to the drier parts, the northeastern and the eastern parts of the country, it's very dry and people barely have any food. So raising the awareness about food security, for me, it means not just telling people about food, but also encouraging them to change their perspective and the definition of food, such that there are things I would eat in my community from Western Kenya that if you went to Central Kenya, there would be, why would I eat that? That's disgusting. Why would I eat that? Yet it's food. There's nothing absolutely wrong with it. So for me, it's first telling people that we have a problem of food security, but then also going a step further and telling them a solution. You could broaden your perspective of food and start exploring what other communities also consider food. As an agriculture journalist, I would say first, before I started my program on NTV, there was no agriculture program on TV at all. And people, I think the perception within the media was that nobody wants to hear about agriculture. So you would do an agriculture story about food security and stuff like that, and then it would be relegated to the bottom of the bulletin. But then after I started doing it, and the reception from the audience, people calling, asking for more information, they want to know, oh, how do I, if for instance you've done a story about chicken farming, they want more information about it. And then the media realized, oh, so there is a market for this, and then everybody now these days does it. But then the challenge comes in that still it's agriculture. It doesn't lead. If it bleeds, it leads. Agriculture rarely ever bleeds, so it will never lead. So a lot of times when you find they need to look at a candidate of a story to cut out of the bulletin, it will be an agriculture story. Except for now, right now, when Kenya is undergoing a serious food crisis, whereby you'll find now agriculture stories are being given priority. You start with agriculture, but usually it's politics. So there's that challenge, the mindset within the media itself. Secondly, you don't really get that much support from the science community, especially. They consider media enemies, and they would not be very willing to speak to you because they say, if I talk to you, you're going to misquote me. You know nothing about science. How are you going to understand anything I tell you? So they already approach you from a point of your knowledge is here, their knowledge is here. There's no way you can be at the same level to communicate. But over time, we've started to overcome those challenges. We now have a growing science association. Every day, new journalists taking interest in science, different branches of science, and they're joining the association. And we're reaching out to scientists and other people within the science community and telling them, you need us to communicate. Without us, who is ever going to know about what you're doing? You'll develop a new seed, and then who's going to know you have a new seed variety that is going to do 1, 2, 3 things for the farmers? You need me to tell those farmers that you have those seeds. So now slowly by slowly, people are starting to, the science community is starting to change its mindset, and we are making progress. I still feel that there's a lot more to be done. A lot more to be said about food security, especially now that we've managed to raise awareness. Every newspaper has a pull-out on agriculture. Every week you have this article about agriculture, that article about agriculture, that article. That just shows you the audience is hungry for information. So ours is to scale up the level, the rate at which you provide that information, and the level. Like for instance, starting with my own program, as it is, it's just 3 minutes per week. On air, Food Friday, just 3 minutes per week. But I'm negotiating with my boss to grow it out of the 3 minutes and maybe have something that is a minimum of 15 minutes.